See, I enjoy oral sex, but to be honest, some of my experiences have been not pleasing due to lack of proper vaginal hygiene. I went down on this shit once, and the yoni was so good and fresh. It took me on like a whole nother level of just pleasure. So at that moment, I had to stop and ask, what are you using? And she told me, embrace Pangea Feminine Wash.
We all know that a fresh yoni brings on a whole new level of confidence, so visit embracepangea.com, and of course, I got my winos covered for a discount, so use the coupon code TASHAK for 10% off your first order.
Why the hell so many people are trying to tell me to slow down? Seems like motherfuckers should be shutting the hell up and enjoying the show.
I fucks hard and heavy with Lamar Odom, okay? I like his he got some, he got some OG in him. You know what I'm saying? He'll check a bitch easy. You know what I'm saying? He will do a press run and on a bitch and if he has to, he will do what needs to be done. Now, do I think that he has a great taste in women? I don't. I think he needs to let somebody else pick his females. I really do. He's apparently attracted to a certain type of female, and this one is one. Now, Lisa Morales, his baby mama. Now, apparently the kids are grown. She is suing for unpaid child support. Now, listen, y'all, I'm about to tell the story, okay? Now, my fella gonna call me and cuss me out in a minute, but I don't give a shit, okay? So, I'm about 6 months pregnant, all right? And my daddy calls me. This is my biological father. I got two daddies. Really three, but two, okay? Most people got three mamas and shit. I got three daddies. And so my biological daddy calls me. He's like, Tasha, he got a real deep voice. You know what I'm saying? That's why I got that raspy voice. Tasha, what you doing, baby? I miss you. Now, last time I seen him, it had probably been like 3 years. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, what's going on, daddy? I'm emotional and pregnant. He's like, well, I got to go to court tomorrow. Now, mind you, I'm like, what you got to go to court for now? The only thing he ever been to court for was, a few bodies and shit. You know what I'm saying? I ain't snitching on my daddy. But you can Google him. He ain't the motherfucker to be fucked with at all, okay? But one thing he don't fuck with is his baby mamas. I'm going to tell you that, man. He got plenty of them. And so he's like, Tasha, I got to go to court tomorrow. And they say I owe $3,000 in child support. And they say if I ain't got it, they gonna lock me up. So I'm like, is it for my baby sister? Because the youngest, everybody else grown. We all grown, so who you paying child support for? Then my only one that was left was my little sister. She's 17. So I'm like, well, let me call up mama to sort this shit out. He was like, no, it's the state of Florida. She done put me on them damn papers. So I'm like, well, who is the child support for? You know who he tells me the child support for? Y'all will never guess. Y'all will never guess. I want to see if y'all gonna guess. Let me give y'all a second. Please like this video while you guessing, okay? Da-na-na-na-na-na. Guess who the child support for? Me. My husband back there laughing. Listen. Me. I'm pregnant. I'm 25 years old. Now, I'm like, what the daddy, what? I ain't say what the fuck to my daddy. Now, I'm like, what? Because he trying to be a pastor and all. I said, Daddy, what you talking about me? He was like, well, your mama, she put me on child support when you was 12. Now, mind you, that was the first time I met his ass, okay? He came in the room, came in the house. I'm standing on the steps. I'm like, who you? He like, I'm your daddy. I'm like, no, John, my daddy. She like, well, I forgot to tell you. You know what I'm saying? I told him, I had aborted you and shit. What the fuck are you talking about? You know what I'm saying? I got brothers and sisters at the school I ain't know nothing about. This is just some crazy shit. But he telling me, he like, look, I wouldn't call you if I didn't need it. You know what I'm saying? So I really, really need this money. So I hung up. I looked at my husband. I said, baby, now mind you, we both working in the restaurant industry. We making what? $2,000 a week? We was doing good then, weren't we? Yeah, it was $2,000 a week. Yeah. And I said, Dad, my daddy needs some money. He was like, what? What you mean your daddy needs some money? I said, he need about $3,000. I said, he's like, for what? I said, child support. He said, for who? I said, for me. So my mama Done took his ass down to the child support office to get every motherfucking dime she was owed. So for them 12 years he didn't pay, those were the motherfucking 12 years she was collecting. It was back pay. They had done took his license. They said they were gonna lock his ass up. And so guess what? To this day, now my mama probably watching the show, I sent them the check. I did. I said, here you go, Dad. I ain't never seen no shit like that before in my life. But back to the story. I just want to tell y'all a little bit about me, okay? This is some real shit. I am from, y'all think I ain't from the hood? I'm from the hood, okay? Trailer park, dirt roads, okay? Motherfuckers standing on the corner drinking slits. Not even slits. Motherfuckers still reserve, okay? You don't know about that unless you in the hood. They don't sell that in the nice liquor stores, okay? So yeah, I was like, ain't that about it, bitch? We gave him the money and I ain't talked to him again for like 3 years. Yeah, we talk all the time now. He don't miss a holiday. You know, he got a girlfriend. She probably watching the show too. Hey, Victoria. And so she, you know, she keeps our daddy on the calendar. He like, hey, it's your daughter's birthday. Hey, it's this. Hey, it's that. You know what I'm saying? So he's involved now. Listen. And has he paid me back? In oysters. I love raw oysters. Every time I go to Panama City, Florida, he takes me to the oyster bar, and the oyster bar is really expensive. They used to be like $10. You know what I'm saying? You can eat 3 dozen of oysters for $10. Now you eat 3 dozen of oysters for like $60. So, you know, he's paid me back in oysters, and that was fine enough, okay? Shout out to my dad. Anyway, and so when it comes to Lamar Odom, now Lamar Odom's children are grown. Now, Lisa Morales, okay, I think I'm saying her name right, is suing him because she's being evicted for non-payment of child support. Now I'm like, this shit sound familiar? So all his kids are grown. Now she ain't tried to find no job because she's been living off of, I'm Lamar Odom's baby mama. She ain't want to do shit with her life, so now the kids are grown. He done stopped payment. I think she tried to collect for 3 years when they were younger. Them 3 years when he had rent under and he was at the brothels and shit like that, he couldn't pay. Those are the 3 years she trying to collect for. Now, mind you, this was over 4 years ago. So you being evicted for some shit that happened 3 years ago? Your finances is in back pay. Your books ain't balanced out. For 3, you wasn't even supposed to be living off that shit. See, that's the thing. You wasn't even supposed to be living off that shit. You should have put your ass through school or put your ass through strip club school or something. Nah. She's suing. Now, how are you suing? How are you able to afford a lawyer if you are being evicted? What a wise way to spend your money instead of finding another place. Now, here's how I used to handle eviction before I got married and shit. You know what I'm saying? I was a hustler. I would rob Peter to pay Paul. So if I'm being evicted here, the eviction ain't hit my credit report yet. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I may be behind. I always paid my rent, but, you know, I would go eat crab legs and shit. You know what I'm saying? So rent time come, I would go knock on my little landlord door because she lived next door to me in an apartment. You know what I'm saying? I'd be like, look, I just need a few more days. So instead of paying on the 1st, I would pay on the 25th. And so she would go have to send in the eviction. So one time she couldn't pull it back because the record showed that I was late every month. She said, we can't do this no more, Tasha. We can't. I'm like, listen, I'm only 21. I'm just learning my first apartment. Come on. So I got smart. And I had this happen 2 other times because, you know, once you learn how to, you know, maneuver the system, Lisa, your ass wouldn't have to go to court and use the money that you should have used instead of paying your rent because you knew it was too much to catch up. You go and find an apartment that got the first month's rent free, half off the security deposit, okay? And you move your shit right the fuck in because that eviction ain't hit your credit report. Now, I did that 3 times. Now, an eviction takes a while to hit your credit report, probably like a year, because they're going to try to collect it from you. Then they're going to send it to the collection agency, and you just tell the collection agency, yeah, I'm going to pay it. Go ahead and send the bill, and they keep calling. They keep calling. You keep putting them out. So if you have failure to pay, after you told them you was going to pay, but some shit came up and they have to keep giving you time. You know what I'm saying? That shit don't hit your credit report. So I went like 4 years, okay? I think my husband had to pay that shit because we tried to get a damn apartment together and I had like $2,000 worth of evictions. And he bailed my ass out of jail. Y'all know the story? I'm telling you, y'all, I used to buy TVs from Walmart, put the old ones. Let me shut up. Anyway. from the hood. So yes, Lisa, instead of spending your money on that lawyer that's gonna drain you and tell you you ain't owed a motherfucking thing, you should have took that little whatever you use to put on that retainer, okay? The filing fees for the lawsuit. Lawsuits ain't cheap. Then you got to pay a process server to serve his ass. Okay? You should have went and put that on an apartment that your motherfucking ass could have afforded, okay? That's what you should have done. And then maybe went to your baby daddy and asked him for a little help. And I'm sure Lamar, he would have been like, I got it. I help you out. But no, bitch. It's hoes like you looking for a come up. But now Lamar, don't fucking drag my ass. Now, please, guys. I am just merely, hold on. Okay. Yeah, okay. I am just reading an email from someone that worked with both of them, okay? And saw a lot of what was going on, okay? So, I'm going to read this. Go ahead and put up the picture. Rest is so I love Prince, y'all. I love Prince, but let's get into it. Okay? They want to remain anonymous, although I have the name. So if anybody want to come at me, Prince Estate, we got people. Don't play, okay? So, when Dani Leigh was 17, 18, she was dating Prince the singer. Her parents let her move in and get mentored by Prince, and then when he moved on, Dani Leigh was broke and trying to get into the music industry. Prince flew her out and was dating her, funding her curly girl group, and giving her small jobs. My mother was doing Prince's hair. Now, he had a lot of hairstylists. Okay? And Prince received a nude picture saying, "Are you done with your hair yet? I'm lonely up there." It's almost hitting 1 hour, and then Dani Leigh comes downstairs barely dressed. My mother said the home was huge, and she doesn't know if anyone else was there. Okay? The second time, she had curled Prince's hair, his extensions. I didn't know Prince wore extensions. I thought this was his real hair the entire time. This is all alleged, okay? She noticed he was texting Dani and said, "I miss your skin," with tongue emoji. Okay? Now, she said my mother was convinced they were. She says she's seen Prince date many young 18 to 23-ish women throughout the time. When she started to speak up about the relationship, she was let go, okay? And a video of Prince had with Dani Leigh was removed from the internet, okay? I think it was because he didn't want the world to know, he was dating a very young woman, okay? And yes, and if I needed to confirm more, I could confirm with one of his chefs. Now listen, everybody knows that Dani Leigh directed one of Prince's videos. Why he would let a 16-year-old direct this video, I don't know. And there's Hype Williams, I don't know, okay? I don't know. Now, Dani is really, really good about keeping secrets, okay? Now, I don't think she's been in love since the baby, okay? Because she is currently right now carrying the baby's baby. And word is on the street that he did not want the child. That's why they are not talking. He was under the impression that she was on birth control, and she wasn't. And during the break, when he left his baby mother, we're talking about the baby now. During the break, when he left his baby mother, of course, he calls her, "Oh, I miss you," because he needed some ass. He went over there for a couple weeks. It was just a couple of weeks, okay? She announced that she's pregnant. He doesn't want it. And he had asked her to, I guess he didn't want it. And so for that reason, they are not together and they are not talking. But she has decided to keep the child because apparently she's had a few situations and she ain't doing that shit no more. Let me get some wine. Moving on.